Oh Lord, I was in a good mood. I was getting myself into a flow, and now I got to talk about this nonsense here. I'm a Tom Brady fan. It is what it is. But the question is as follows: Is Brock Purdy better for the 49ers than Jimmy G? And Zay, you could kick us off again.
Um, this is a great question, and I think maybe because Brock Purdy right now is probably better off than Jimmy G. For the reason being, teams don't have the scouting report on Brock Purdy. They don't know his strengths. They don't know his weaknesses. They don't know what this kid is really made out of. And as we saw last night against the Buccaneers, he could do pretty much a little bit of everything. He knows how to run into the end zone. He has a knack for vision. He sees the defenses. He sees how they're playing him. He's not only stuck into this, like I like to call like this tunnel vision where he has to stay in a pocket and look for the receivers. He's actually moving around. He's actually like, all right, if nothing's open on my couple reads that I make, I'm running it up the middle. I'm making the scramble. I'm not going to sit here in a pocket like, a deer in the headlights. I'm going to move around. So I think right now, when you look at it, I think Brock Purdy is probably the best option for the 49ers because he's moving the ball down the chains. He's getting the ball to the playmakers, not only the short passes, or the quick tosses to McCaffrey, Debo. He found Brandon Ayuk a couple times before. After Debo got hurt, he made that one play that sticks into my mind was a touchdown to Brandon Ayuk on the on I think it was like a 25-yard, 30-yard pass.
And he was hit on that play too. He was hit on that play, so he showed toughness on that.
So I think for me, Brock Purdy is, I think he's the best option just because he's shown you a plethora of moves and plays that he's capable of doing. Now, I don't know, but for me at least, it looked like the playbook was open a little bit more for Brock Purdy than Jimmy G, because as you stated in the last topic, a coach needs to know what the player's strengths and weaknesses are. And I think it shows that Kyle Shanahan actually trusts Brock Purdy with the full playbook because he was showing everything. I think when Brock Purdy was there, they were throwing more deep passes than I've seen Jimmy G throw all season. So it's like for me, I would prefer to see Brock Purdy, and also a beautiful, touching moment when his father saw him throw his first touchdown, crying in the stands. That was just a beautiful sight to see. And especially playing against a Hall of Fame quarterback and Tom Brady, that's something that every father would want to see his son do, just playing against a Hall of Famer and absolutely dominating. So for me, I think Brock Purdy should be the starting quarterback for the remainder of the season and possibly fight for that QB1 spot against Trey Lance.
I mean, look, I hope my dad, when he see me on ESPN, start shedding a tear. You know what I'm saying? ESPN, don't think you got me, bro. You gonna have to drop the bag to get me. I'm comfortable where I am right now, but I take all office. It is what it is. But the answer to this question, this is a very, very interesting question. Very interesting question, because I can see it from a lot of ways, right? Claire, you hinted at some good points, some valid points in your first go round when you was talking about the expansion of the playbook. And that's what Brock Purdy is bringing to Kyle Shanahan, the expansion of the playbook. He's able to have good pocket awareness. He's able to extend on the play. He's able to push the ball down the field with the CMC pass that he threw, with the pass to Brandon Ayuk while being sacked, while in the process of being sacked. So he showed that he has that toughness. It's a very tough question because theoretically, I see him operating, and it's just a 2-game sample. But from the 2-game sample, I see Brock Purdy operating the offense better than Jimmy G because of the expansion of the playbook. But there's something to be said. And the reason why I'm going to answer this question, no, for this year, that is something to be said about playoff experience. That's always valuable. That's something that you can't make up. That's something that you can't fake. You can't put it on your resume. Oh, I've been to the playoffs this amount of times. No, if you didn't do it, right? That's something that Jimmy G has on his resume. He lived it. He saw it. He been through it. And that's going to come pivotal at some point. Like, I understand Brock Purdy's playing well. Credit to him. He just beat my guy, the GOAT. We're going to talk about the GOAT a little bit more, and he looked good. I'll give them this. The 49ers don't care who is at quarterback. Remember, they was juggling Trey Lance. They was juggling Jimmy G. And they seemed not to care who was going to be the starter. They was like, listen, just give me the ball. Debo, just give me the ball. George Kittle, just give me the ball. CMC, just give me the ball. I can do something with it. The defense, I'll take away the ball. Thank you very much and give my offense back the ball if I don't score. You know what I'm saying? So the 49ers, they are so well diverse. Obviously, injuries suck. We hope that Debo is not out for the year. I believe it's an ankle sprain, so maybe he could come back in the playoffs. So whenever the timeline is, I'm pretty sure around 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, which is now, we probably get some updates. So we get that to you. If we hear anything, we'll get it to you. But to answer the question, no, Jimmy G's playoff experience is always going to be valuable. There's no rookie quarterback that has ever won a Super Bowl. I don't think this is a year of changes. But to counter my own argument, the last 2 years, we saw teams win a championship in their home building. That never happened before. And I know people be like, Lil, what kind of analogy is that? What does that got to do with this? Well, basically, translation, there's a first time for everything. But I don't believe it's this year, though.
I think for me, right, I think when we look at Jimmy G, what he is to any football team, or at least particularly to San Francisco 49ers, is that he doesn't lose the game. He plays to win. He plays to keep the time of possession on his side. And, he moves the chains, but slowly, but surely. He's going to move the chains. And that's just the kind of game he plays. He's not a guy that's not going to go out there and try to decimate a defense. He plays the game of chess. He just takes it one move at a time. And eventually he knows he's going to take the victory at the end of the game. But Brock Purdy, he's out there playing to prove something. He's out there to move the chains. He's out there to score as much points as possible. And that's the game he plays. And then you even saw it, like, when I think it was like 14 zip, he's still slinging the ball down the field. He's trying to win the football game. He's getting into McCaffrey. McCaffrey and Debo made a lot of good plays, though. They was evading a lot of defenses. They had a lot of runs that were just like, what the heck? How the hell the Buccaneers didn't get that tackle? So that's a plus for them. They allowed Brock Purdy to play an easier football game than him just making a play and making a throw. When you talk about what he's capable of doing, his vision on the football field is impeccable. I think I forgot what quarter was during the game, but they were saying that Brock Purdy has been playing against the best defense the last 13 weeks. So like he of course he'll be prepared and ready to go because he's playing against the best defense in practice. He was on a scout team. And so that was something that was said during the game. And I wish I remember the quote. I think it was Fred Warner, but I don't want to misquote. Just
it might have been him.
So I think for me, it's interesting because now I'm thinking about, I'm like, yeah, when you're playing against a great defense every week in practice, and I already said it, the 49ers are a team that they're so talent stacked. It's just that they're always hurt. But if the guys are healthy and they're playing like their defense is this year, then they're going to be prepared on a week-to-week basis. I think Brock Purdy is just ready to go because there's not many defenses, let alone in the NFL, that has that caliber of defense that Brock Purdy had to face during practice to get everybody prepared for on a week-to-week basis. So I think, for me, I go leaning towards Brock Purdy because I know he's going to try to get a touchdown every time he has the ball in his hand. So he's trying to move the chains as much as possible. Whereas Jimmy G, he's trying to take away the time possession from guys when whoever he faces opponent-wise. So he's trying to just, little by little, don't worry, we're going to get a touchdown or two. We're going to get there. But I can't remember the last time a 49ers team had 35 or 30, 33 or 35 in the back-to-back weeks like Brock Purdy has in this offense. So, I mean, that's something that maybe puts me Brock Purdy over Jimmy G. But that makes excellent take you had about Jimmy G being playoff ready because that's important. Battle test is the most important thing when the lights is brightest.
That's a whole different experience, playoff time. But I got one more point on this before we move to our subtopic. But before I even get there, like the video, y'all. Those of y'all that's watching, like the video, thumbs up, smash the like button, send the video to a friend. Let's get it in. But anyway, I think for me, I know a lot of people talked about the Tom Brady, Drew Bledsoe, scenario where Tom Brady came in for Drew Bledsoe and Drew Bledsoe got hurt and he, the rest is history, right? Do we got to go deep and dive into that? We already know Tom Brady is a GOAT, but I got to give credit where credit is due. Zach kind of hinted at this in the chat last night. Shout out to Zach, our co-host on the show, who's not here right now. But he said, maybe this is another Nick Foles situation, that Cinderella story where he was on the Eagles. Okay, remember Carson Wentz was the starter. Carson Wentz got hurt, and Nick Foles, who nobody believed could win the Super Bowl and beat the GOAT Tom Brady, came on a stacked team and led them on a Super Bowl run, and they won the Super Bowl. It could be that. Who knows? I don't know. But at the same time, I'm going to leave it at here. I do believe that Jimmy G's playoff experience cannot be underestimated. His resume, his wins cannot be underestimated. And let's see if the 49ers can overcome that.